Hi everyone, welcome to 2015. It is, actually I don't know the date today, Stuart, do you know the date today?
It's the 6th.
January 6th, 2015. It's my first video this year, and we're just going to say it's welcome to 2015. I'm happy to be here and happy to be making my first video of the year. The biggest change from 2014 to 2015, that's a lot of numbers. The biggest change in year 2014 to year 2015 is shift in the balance of power. In 2014, my illness seemed stronger than my healing spirit, than my healing body. My brother calls it my healing engine. The news seemed to always be about more cancer spreading to more places, liver getting larger, just more and more news about the cancer progressing into various parts of my body, ending with the progression into my eyes and the brain, which for many people, including myself, I could have used that as an opportunity to give up. I mean, I continued to try without getting, any positive reinforcement. I mean, pretty much I spent the majority of a year in bed. And towards the end of 2014, something shifted and my healing energies became stronger than the illness. It's like the scale tipped, and now my healing powers were finally stronger, and then all the reports on the cancer started to report decline, 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 decline. And it's a little bit shocking because even though I understand intellectually that there was work going on for the past year, that I was in bed with fevers and pain and being rushed to the hospital, and any of you who have followed me at all know that there's it's just been trauma after trauma after trauma, and the prognosis was not very positive. Most of the doctors are kind of surprised that I'm alive, period, because my tumor load was so high. It's still a nice hefty tumor load, but now my healing powers are strong and they're up for the task, and they're now stronger than the energy of the illness. So it truly is a new beginning. It truly is a new birthing. And it certainly is a time full of potential. We could be able to see me if I stand up, Stuart. I feel like standing up, because it's literally like I'm adjusting to like new ground, like it's a new world. It's like, oh, what does the ground feel like in this world where my healing energy is stronger than the energy of the illness? It's like, it's a whole, like, how do things work in that world? I've been in the world where the power of the illness was stronger, or appeared stronger, for over a year. I know what that world feels like. I know what the ground and the soil. There isn't much ground and soil because I'm mostly vertical in that world, laying in bed. So I'm kind of like, it's like I'm waking up and I'm like, oh, like I can get out of bed and I can rebound, and it's not that I'm on easy street, because managing this, even with my healing energy strong, is still a daily task. And some days, you know, managing pain can still take sometimes 4 hours plus a day. And then other times, very little energy and time is needed. It fluctuates. And I need to tune in with my body every day and figure out, so body, hey body, how you doing today? What do we need to do to keep this positive progression? So I'm going to take my pause, as I most often do, and kind of ground myself in my environment, which today is starting off in my art room, which we could also call the womb. And I see all the paintings around me, and paint bottles and paintbrushes and easel, and I see like one cabinet filled with my medications and another cabinet filled with my paint, my wide selection of paint. And I feel myself settling into the chair that I'm sitting on. I feel the back of my thighs making contact with the chair, and my spine making contact with the back of the chair. And the walls are very plain in this room. Most of the stimulation is from all the color from the paintings and the paints, and even from the medicine cabinet. It has a lot of stuff in it that adds to the sense of activity in the room, in the art room, or if we want to call it, in the womb. A lot of, and the womb, it's kind of fitting that the walls are a little bit bare in the womb, because from the more vacant and the more empty the space is, the more potential there is for me to create. If there's things in the womb, it kind of is a distraction, and it keeps things from coming from my deepest, truest sense of who I am. So the main theme is, I feel like I've woken up from a dream, and I'm like, where am I? And where did the past year go? And what's going on in the world outside of me? And for the first time, having the energy to start to try things out, I signed up for an improv acting class. It's actually playback theater and waking dreams. And I'm thinking about taking an improv dance class and taking some, let's see, what's it called? My brain is blocking. Restorative yoga. I'm taking some restorative yoga classes, and a couple nights a month they have a Drumming for Spirituality group that I was a part of before I received this most recent diagnosis, and I like to return to that. So it's like, oh, this is how, like, people whose life are not consumed with illness, this is how people live. I have kind of forgotten what things are like in the land of living, what the soil feels like, how people move in this world that is not just consumed with illness. And there's a bit of reorientation going on as I it's like I feel like like the blinds have opened, and I'm like looking out. I'm like, holy moly, it's a new world out there, and trying to get my bearings to see how to navigate it, what it feels like, how to walk on it. It's pretty mind-blowing. It's pretty mind-blowing, mainly because I went on for over a year without any positive reinforcement. And I'm not really sure why I went on. I really don't know. I just know I just kept trying, despite the fact that I was bedridden and receiving consistent negative news. Something in me just consistently kept trying and kept saying, okay, you know, what can we do today? You know, I just kept trying. So in this womb, the art room in the womb, I have 2 cabinets, and I'm gonna invite you to join me. This cabinet here is where all my medicines are. You can see there's quite a bit. Some of these upper shelves are not currently being used, but there's quite a bit of medication to be managed. And one of the similarities between this cabinet and the painting cabinet is the high level of organization. And even in the pills, there's still, you know, some color. This cabinet supports my body, and I would say that the painting cabinet more supports my spirit. And in the womb, these get to be combined. And what evolves is usually a surprise. And I'm going to walk over now to the painting cabinet, and we'll take a look here. As you can see, we have lots of color, which is pretty much a theme in my life, but also the organization. I find myself, I am a highly organized person, which I'm told is very unusual for an artist. But I find the more organized I am, actually the easier I can create. Because if I know where things are and I can grab things easily, I find that I become more spontaneous and more creative when I'm more organized. And it just seems to also be part of my nature. I feel better when things are very, very organized. And then my healing engine seems to work better when things are organized. And so those are the 2 cabinets, the medicine cabinet, which supports the body, and the painting cabinet, which supports the soul and the spirit and the psyche, and together combined in a highly organized way to create the most optimal space for creation and healing. And I think on that note, I will move to the table where the creations are actually made. So this is a painting I started a few months ago, and I have not been drawn to it, but today I'm gonna play around with it a little bit. So I'm gonna get out some colors, and sometimes I get a paint palette, and sometimes I like to just squeeze them into these little cups and work from them. It's nice because the cups have caps, so I can save the paint afterwards too. Because paint, I have 2 cabinets, one filled with medication and one filled with paint, and they're both really expensive. Some days the paint is more expensive than the medication, and some days the medication is more expensive than the paint, but you don't want to waste either of them. And I'm motivated to paint by kind of a range of emotions. Sometimes it's just pure joy. Often there's something that I'm trying to work through, And if I can get it onto the painting, I can gain insight, and I can also then let go of it. And sometimes I can transform it into something positive. And let's see what else. So as you can see, I have these thin paints that are more liquid, and I have in the tubs, in the tubes are the more thicker paint. And it's all good, it just depends what I'm feeling drawn to in a particular moment. And painting is also messy. So normally if I wasn't shooting a video, I'd have some kind of smock on, or I paint in like an old shirt or something, but I'm gonna trust myself to not get paint all over myself. We'll see how well I do. So, see where. And I rarely have a plan when I'm painting. I just pick a color that inspires me and grab a brush and, you know, and then kind of step back and take a look and see what, it's really guided by my feelings, see what it feels it needs, what it's ready for. So I don't know why I grabbed this color, but I did. And now I'm just going for it. And it's the color, and then of course it's also the type of strokes. You can see these are long lines and these are short strokes, but the energy, whatever in my body, goes through me into the brush and then onto the canvas. Painting is one way to take what's going on inside of my body, get it out of my body and work with it and perhaps transform it into something else. A little bit later in this video, I'm going to be outside and I'm going to do some kind of movement theatrical piece, which is another way to get things out of my body, work with it, and sculpt it into a new form, and hopefully a healthier form and a form that will better serve me. So there's a lot of ways, probably an endless number of ways to get things out and reshape them. But certainly painting and theater are two strong creative ways to achieve that goal. And I like to point out that it's not really about getting rid of stuff. It's more about utilizing exactly what you have but putting it together differently. You don't really have to always necessarily get rid of things. Sometimes with emotions, you do need to clear something from your system to create an opening and a space for something else to emerge. So I guess it depends what's going on. And part of my beginning to enter this new world where my healing energies are stronger than the illness is the realization that now I get to deal with the normal ups and downs of life. Like I don't get like, you know, like on Monopoly, you pass go, you get $200, you kind of get like rewarded. I don't know why I'm bringing up Monopoly, but it's kind of like, God doesn't say, she had cancer, now she's feeling better, so she gets a free pass on all of life's problems. It's like, no, it's like she had cancer and now she's getting stronger. Now she gets to deal with the normal ups and downs of life that everybody has to deal with. And it's an interesting challenge. So part of this video is about how do we deal with life stresses and in a way that supports health and doesn't support illness. And I think one of the first challenges I had in 2015 was a relationship in which my affections were not returned. And it's not that I'm exactly really ready. I say relationship, I use that word loosely. It doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. I'm just more talking about an intense personal connection in which the person that I was attracted to and was sharing with did not see our exchange in the same light I did. So I woke up, wow, welcome to 2015. You're healing, your cancer's getting smaller, your healing self is stronger than the illness, life is full of potential, you're getting ready to resume some of your old activities, you're flourishing, and then it's like, I kind of got hit in the face and it was like, oh, welcome to 2015, and issues in relationships, just the challenges that we all deal with. And I'm kind of poking fun of it, but I wasn't poking fun of it over this weekend. And I had to watch myself because my old way of dealing with loss and what I perceive to be rejection is really to become suicidal. I mean, to just really lay it out there. I kind of lose my will, I call it. It's temporary, but I mean, I can dive really, really deep. But now, I just want to say, I have this disease that is getting smaller, but it is just waiting. It's like, let's just say it's like in the background. It's just waiting for an opportunity to be able to seize, to be able to take charge again. And if I tell myself I don't have will and I want to die, that cancer's like, we're here, we're ready to make that desire real. And so this is a time to really examine lifestyle in general and how do I live in this world? How do I process challenges? How do I celebrate achievements? And to really be aware of, people say over and over, think positive thinking, and it's true, but to really, really see the link between what I say and what I feel and the strength of the cancer. That I feed the cancer. The cancer feeds on negativity, on self-doubt, and on self-hate. And you can't trick the cancer. So if I say, no, if I really feel like I want to die, but I'm saying, oh, I want to live, it doesn't work. It has to be authentic and it has to be consistent. So I think my message is, as I am thrown into this new world where illness is not the strongest force, and I'm reorienting myself to life and the normal ups and downs of life for any human being, I have to watch my lifestyle and say, how do you want to live? And are you going to choose a lifestyle that supports your healing body? Or are you going to choose a lifestyle that gives the cancer strength? And I want to choose, and I am choosing, but it's some effort, the lifestyle that will support this amazing body that has worked so, so hard for me to live. And that means looking at what I say to myself and how I'm feeling and modifying those responses when they need to be modified so that I'm supporting my health instead of supporting the cancer. Because, hello, cancer didn't come out of nowhere. These are patterns that have significantly contributed, these ways of thinking that I have, significantly contributed to the development of my cancer, along with many, many, many other factors. It's a very, I don't think cancer is ever a simple, you know, a simple phenomena to examine. I think it's very complex, and I think everyone's situation is unique, and I think there's so many factors to consider. And today, I'm going to be transforming some of the grief I had over the weekend. I didn't get out of bed for 2 days. I hurt my shoulder. I strained it. I think all in response to this perceived rejection. And then I said, no, thank you. I realized the harm, the potential harm that I could cause myself. And I said, you know, you have to find another way to deal with grief and perceived rejection. And you have to take your power back because, you know, I give up my power. When I say I don't have a will anymore, just because of how somebody else, you know, doesn't want what I want, that's really giving up a lot of, you know, it's giving up my power, and it doesn't serve me. So right now I'm just kind of actually enjoying myself playing with a few colors, and we're going to be getting, but one way I could use this painting to release the grief if I wanted to. And what I'm going to do outside, because that's what I'm more in the mood to do today, is I'm going to do a theatrical piece in which I'm going to act out, both with movement and language, this emotional process that I'm going through as I enter 2015, as my healing body takes charge, and as the illness gets smaller in its power, and as I begin to face the normal ups and downs in life. So I'm going to conclude by saying again, painting can be enormously beneficial in achieving the goals I just stated, and so can theater. And I'm going to put my paintbrushes down. I'm kind of starting to get into this now. Maybe I'll paint for just a little bit more. And then I want to move outside. I'm kind of excited to let these emotions take form in a physical way. And so let me just painting kind of starts to take on a life of its own. Sometimes you're like, you get into it and you can get consumed by it and you don't really want to stop. And I'm feeling a little bit of that energy right now let me just stop for a moment and see if any color is calling to me, or if this is a good place to take a break. I'm feeling I'd like some green, but I think I want to let this dry before I add anything more. So thank you for visiting me in my art room / womb. And now we are going to transfer this video to the outside. We can maybe say we're going to move through the birth canal, and we're going to see what happens when I exit the womb and I'm in an open space, and use my passion for theater and movement to express a lot of what I've been talking about so far in this video. So thank you for sharing with me this far, and I look forward to re-meeting with you again in a moment or two outside on a mat, and expressing myself through movement and language and sound. Thank you. So, welcome back. We just left my art room / womb, and now we will be walking in procession into my symbolic birth canal. And so the birth canal, in my vision, in my creative vision, is light and flowery. So we have some beautiful candles. These actually were handmade in Israel, these particular sets of candles, not the beige ones, but these colorful ones. And we have flowers. So the birth canal is, it was a transition from the womb, obviously, into the world. But the energy that I'm creating is that it's a happy journey, and it's a colorful, nourishing, supportive. At least it's my birth canal, so I can make it whatever I want it to be in my creative vision. So in my creative vision, it's flowery, it's light, it's supportive, and colorful. And over here, I picked what calls to me as the energy of this birth canal. So we have obsidian is in the sphere, and we have fulgurite, which is actually sand that has been fused together by lightning. So very fitting energy, because it's about transformation, and that's what's going on here, major transformation on so many levels. And then the third stone that I have here is black kyanite, and actually I have two of them, and this has very high level this is energy from it brings in energy from the higher planes. And here it is in black. I'm going to put it back down, but I'm also wearing blue kyanite. Kyanite comes in black, blue, green, and maybe other colors, but those are the colors that I know most about. And in the blue form, it still brings in energy from the higher realms, but because of the blue, it's more about communication. In the black, it's more about protection, and in the blue, it's more about communication. So these would be what I perceive in my symbolic birth canal. These are the energies that I would think resonate with the canal. And we continue to have flowers celebrating something's birthing, something's growing, and more color. And as we continue to walk to the end of the birth canal, we now prepare for my new body, spirit, and soul to begin its formal entry. If I had a drum, we'd play the drum roll. Its formal entry into year 2015. It's out here. It's a new world. I'm not sure if I'm ready. and stay in here where it's safe. I hear the world calling me. There's trees out here and mountains. It's a new year. A new year's beginning. I think it's time to get out from under here. I think it's time. It's time to see what's going on out here. I've been in bed, wrapped in blankets for a year, over a year, sick, laying in bed, sick. Oh. And now it's time to leave the bed and leave the sickness and come out into this new world, this new open world that's full of possibility. Mountains, birds, trees, all calling me, flowers to come forth, because it's time. It's time to leave the bed. It's time to leave the blankets. It's time to leave the sickness. And it's time to start living again. Yeah, these blankets. They kept me warm, but now they're weighing me down. They're weighing me down now. I have to let go of the burdens that have weighed me down for a long time and move into this new world that's open and is full of potential. Shed the weight of the illness. Shed the weight of the blankets that have held me, but have also held me back. Oh, we didn't plan for that so well. It's okay. So, rid myself of the weights and lighten my body. It already is light because the tumor load is lighter. So my body's lighter and the world is opening. And 2015 is a new beginning. There'll be challenges. Some of them have already come my way. And I have to decide, how do I want to meet these challenges? How do I want to meet the challenges of 2015, the ups and downs of life? How do I want to face them? How do I want to greet them? I want to open, I know that. And I want to rid myself of layers of weight that are no longer serving me. Ooh. Oh, whoosh. Oh, whoosh. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. One thing I would like to address is the man who did not see eye to eye on our connection, and I experienced rejection for the first time in 2015. Not for the first time in my life. And how do I want to address the feeling of rejection and loss in 2015? Do I want to go back to the blankets and say, it hurts, it's too much, I've lost my will, I don't want to go on, it's not worth going on, I don't want to go on, I don't want to go on, I don't want to go on. That's how I usually respond. I give up, I turn in, and I blame myself, and I feed the cancer. So, in this open space, and this new beginning in 2015, surrounded by the mountains, surrounded by the trees, surrounded by the flowers, surrounded by my symbolic birth canal, and the birds that I just heard chirping, making sounds, squawking in the background, and to Mother Nature, whew, the big Mother Nature who supports us all, the big Mother Nature, I ask for support in changing my way of responding to rejection. I don't want to go back here. I don't want to cover myself up in blankets. I don't want to give up. I don't want to go back to I want to die. I don't want to go back. And I don't want to feed the cancer. So what can I do differently? What can I do differently? Let's see what my body has to say. Let's see what my body has to say. Through all this sense of loss, I really haven't expressed anger, because this man was a great help to me during my healing journey up until this point. But now it's not working, and I'm watching my hands, I'm pushing it away, I'm saying, no more, stay away, because I don't want to let that kind of energy into my life right now, because right now it's not serving me. And I don't want to give up my power to this person, and he wouldn't want my power. It's not really what he would want anyway. It doesn't serve anybody. So first thing I say is push it away. Get away from me. And I reclaim my power. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. My power is mine. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. 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 I clear my system of all the old ways of responding to rejection and loss. I clear myself of self-blame. I clear myself of giving up on myself, of doubting myself, of giving up on life because how I perceive another person's actions. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. 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 I don't let another human being take away my will to live. Take away my will to live. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. You no longer serve me. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. You no longer serve me. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. You no longer serve me. You no longer serve me. Get away from me. I reclaim my power. I am more than this relationship. I am always more than any relationship. And it's always a choice to give up your power or not give up your power. And for 2015, I choose life. And I choose choices that support me in life. And I welcome the normals, ups and downs that come along with living. Whether you have cancer or not, whether you have illness or not, life is ups and downs. And as part of accepting life, I accept the challenges that come with life, the big ones and the little ones. And in addition to the challenges, I also embrace the joy and the richness and the potential that comes from making it to the other side, from walking on the new soil, the soil where the healing spirit is immense and far more powerful than the illness. And I've struggled with this recent loss, but it also motivated me to move into the world a little more quickly, because in order to nurture myself, it wasn't going to be from this relationship anymore. Therefore, I needed to do, it doesn't have to be a relationship either. I'm taking theater classes and dance classes. I can nurture myself through many things. It doesn't have to be through a relationship. I hope to be in relationships also, because that's part of being human, a big part. But this loss helped me, kind of taken my butt and kind of shoved me into 2015 and said, jump right in, because I was going in the wrong direction. So there is pain and grief still, and it's important to acknowledge that. And there's also enormous excitement and potential about what this new year has to begin. So I end embracing nature and this big open space that is full of potential. And I give gratitude for the miraculous healing that is transformed in this body. And I thank my body for its hard work in maintaining my life and giving me a chance to live. I continue to feel gratitude for all of the people in support. Again, my video man who's in front of me right now, Stuart, videotaping me, and Beth Alice is in the other room, who does my makeup and my hair and she sets up the set design. And you also already know my list, my editor who's helping me with all the writing for my website designer. Oh, and Stuart has someone in his company who, Mitch, who does the editing of these lovely videos, and the medical support team that I've ensembled, the orchestra of doctors from basically around the world who are continuing to contribute to my health, and my inner circle who is currently watching my videos, and the website to be launched soon, and just gratitude for all the progress that has been made and everything that's made that possible. And I hope to be able to nurture the part of me that feels a little wounded right now, and to transform that wound. That's one of my strengths, transmuter, transform, to transform with time, to nurture that wounded part and transform it into something positive, and I think something beautiful. So not to make light or sugarcoat loss or pain or grief. That's never helpful, but it's part of life. So, to life. Thank you.